Hello and welcome Rustaceans. Today I will have an interesting topic. As of 7 days ago, the 19th of September, there was released a new version of Rust 1.64. There were released interesting features. What I will talk about is scoped threads. It's a huge step into the direction of parallel programming. So multi-threading is getting serious now. We will see in the coding examples and we'll dive right into it. So let's directly dive into coding, as this will be a live session. So I'm just creating a string that I will use inside a thread to first show you that there is basically a problem with the borrowing action I try to do here. So I just say this is a string, and now I just use a thread crate to spawn a thread, and I will basically print out the variable. So keep it super simple because the error will totally pop up and we want to get the result at all. So now we already see that there's an error, and let's execute cargo run to see what the compiler says. So, oh, that's a huge bummer. We ignore that because I'm not using it. But here he say it may outlive the borrowed value var, which, as we know, will be the case because the program ends. I mean, this statement is really short, but if it could execute basically before after the program has already ended. If we say he spawns a thread and then goes one instruction further, it will totally outlive the thread. But if we basically do the right thing here, so just join it and then basically match the results. We still have this error, and now it wouldn't outlive, so this is kind of irrelevant. But as you see, he wants to force us to use move, that the ownership is taken by the closure. So if we now add move, we won't have any problems and our code will execute like a charm. But this also means we can't do this and just, think of the case in which you will use some data structure outside, inside the thread, and you want to use it further in the active scope, and you aren't even mutating it or so. Then you will have a problem here, because if I'm now saving, it says the variable is gone out of scope because I have moved it. And the thread has the ownership. And the thread is joined in here, so the variable is gone. And now there were introduced scoped threads. T equals thread. Now we can use the scope instead of the spawn, and here we get access of the scope, and we can actually spawn multiple threads in that scope if we now use spawn. So we will add this here. Oh. And now we can just do the same thing again, say print line, and now we just say bar, and now we need to put our join in here because this is where the scope is. But we could also completely return the join, and then we would get it back here. I will now do that because otherwise we have this messy orange over here. I will put an underscore, otherwise we will get a warning. I don't want that because I won't use the T1 variable at all. And just to prove it to you that it's actually working, we can run our code and it's printing out this is a string and this is a string. So as promised, this was a really short live coding session with me about scoped threads in Rust 1.64. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. So thanks for tuning in and have a nice day.